Welcome to Algorithmic Arguments. I'm your host, the Orchestrator. Tonight, we're diving into a question that has sparked heated debates across academia and beyond. Should colleges prioritize STEM education over liberal arts? This isn't just a matter of curriculum. It's about the future of our workforce, the value of knowledge, and how we define a well-rounded education. Joining me are Jaylen J. Washington, who's navigated the complexities of college life as a first-generation student, Priya Sundaram, a software engineer with insights into the tech industry's demands, Reverend James Whitfield, who brings a moral philosopher's perspective on community and value, and Victoria Langford, with her experience in hedge fund management. Over the next hour, expect sharp arguments, surprising perspectives, and perhaps even some consensus. We'll dissect the economic imperatives of STEM fields against the enriching breadth of liberal arts. Let's get into it.
Nah, but for real though, I don't think it's a zero-sum game where we have to choose between STEM and liberal arts. I read this thing that said the Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that jobs in science, technology, engineering, and math will grow 8% by 2032, which is faster than average. But that's not all we're preparing students for. We need critical thinkers who can navigate complexity. Liberal arts teach you how to think creatively, communicate effectively. It's giving us well-rounded individuals, you feel me? My mom's always says that education should be about more than just a job. It should prepare you for life. Prioritizing STEM over liberal arts might shortchange students in ways we can't anticipate yet. That's crazy to think we'd sacrifice one valuable part of education for another without considering the consequences.
Jaylen's statement about the Bureau of Labor Statistics seems accurate, but let's ensure we stay focused on the prioritization debate.
Actually, I think we need to reframe the question. Prioritizing one area of study over another isn't a zero-sum game. It's about understanding their complementary values. As someone who spent years in software engineering and open-source culture, I've seen firsthand how crucial it is for STEM fields to have well-rounded professionals who understand not just code, but also ethics, history, and social context. Liberal arts teach critical thinking, communication skills, and creativity, all essential qualities that make a developer more effective at solving real-world problems. In fact, many successful tech companies actively seek out candidates with liberal arts backgrounds precisely because they bring diverse perspectives to the table.
As a man of faith and a student of community organizing, I believe that colleges should strike a balance between STEM education and liberal arts. Now, I'm not one to dismiss the importance of science, technology, engineering, and math. Our young people need skills to compete in this modern world. But, as a Southern Baptist minister, I've seen firsthand how a well-rounded education can shape compassionate leaders. Liberal arts teach critical thinking, empathy, and effective communication, essential qualities for building strong communities. In my congregation, we've had folks from all walks of life, and I can tell you that the ones who are curious, open-minded, and articulate make the best neighbors, workers, and citizens. By prioritizing both STEM and liberal arts, we can equip students to tackle real-world problems with expertise and hard glow showing America's.
Let's keep the discussion focused on how STEM and liberal arts intersect in practical terms.
I'm not convinced that prioritizing one over the other is a zero-sum game. However, I do think we need to reevaluate how we're allocating resources based on outcomes. At Langford Capital, we've seen firsthand that investments in STEM fields yield high returns, but so do strategic allocations in liberal arts, particularly when they intersect with technology and data analysis. The reality is, automation and AI are displacing certain skill sets, making it imperative for colleges to focus on education that fosters adaptability and critical thinking. Noted studies have shown that interdisciplinary majors combining humanities and computer science tend to produce highly employable graduates. I'd argue we should prioritize educational programs based on their capacity to foster versatile skills rather than pigeonholing students into one category or the other.
As we navigate the complexities of this debate, I want to emphasize that prioritizing STEM education isn't necessarily a zero-sum game where liberal arts suffer. In fact, studies have shown that interdisciplinary approaches combining STEM and liberal arts can foster more innovative problem-solving and well-rounded graduates. For instance, institutions like MIT and Stanford have successfully integrated humanities courses into their engineering programs, yielding students who are both technically proficient and culturally astute. Let's explore this intersection further. What are the implications of merging these seemingly disparate fields?
I think y'all are hitting on a crucial point. This isn't necessarily an either-or proposition. As a Southern Baptist minister, I believe that cultivating the whole person involves both intellectual and moral development. Data from the National Center for Education Statistics shows that students who pursue liberal arts educations tend to have higher rates of civic engagement and social responsibility bar chart. By integrating STEM with liberal arts, we can produce graduates who not only excel in their fields, but also contribute positively to society. Consider this. Many tech companies are now prioritizing soft skills, like communication and teamwork. By emphasizing both STEM rigor and liberal arts training, we can equip students for success in the job market while fostering a more informed, empathetic citizenry light bulb.
Reverend Jimmy Whitfield's use of data from the National Center for Education Statistics was appreciated, but let's ensure we critically evaluate sources. Also, note that soft skills are often subjective.
Actually, I think we are having a misleading conversation when we frame this as an either-or situation. The real question is how to integrate both effectively. At my current company, we've seen that engineers with humanities backgrounds bring unique problem-solving skills and communication abilities. They're better equipped to tackle non-trivial technical challenges while considering user needs. The data supports this. According to a National Center for Education Statistics report, interdisciplinary STEM programs that include liberal arts components have higher graduation rates and job placement statistics compared to traditional STEM-only curricula. Prioritizing STEM without incorporating liberal arts might produce technically proficient individuals but also risks creating legacy code, outdated solutions that neglect human factors. Instead, we should advocate for well-designed educational pathways combining rigor in both areas.
As we discuss integrating STEM and liberal arts, consider how different institutions, community colleges, liberal arts colleges, research universities might approach this balance differently.
Nah, but for real though, I think we need to rethink this whole STEM versus liberal arts thing. My sociology classes have shown me that these aren't mutually exclusive. They're interconnected. A report by the National Endowment for the Arts found that students who studied arts and humanities were more likely to volunteer, vote, and participate in community service, all essential skills for a functioning democracy. I read this thing that said institutions should focus on fostering versatile graduates with diverse skill sets, not just churning out coders or engineers. Prioritizing one over the other neglects how they complement each other. We need both to address complex societal issues like climate change and inequality. That's crazy. We're still debating which is more valuable when they're intertwined. My mom's always says an education should prepare you for life, not just a job.
Actually, I think that's a false dichotomy. We don't have to choose between STEM and liberal arts, they complement each other. A well-rounded education requires both technical expertise and critical thinking skills. In my experience, the best engineers are those who can communicate complex ideas clearly and understand the social implications of their work. Prioritizing one over the other would be a mistake. For instance, at my current company, we have engineers with backgrounds in philosophy, literature, and history, They're able to approach problems from unique angles and design more empathetic products. I'd argue that colleges should focus on integrating STEM and liberal arts education, not pitting them against each other. This intersection of art and science is where the most innovative solutions are born, and it's essential for students to have a solid foundation in both areas to tackle real-world problems effectively.
As a man of faith and a student of the human condition, I believe that colleges should not prioritize STEM education over liberal arts. While STEM fields are crucial for our economic and technological advancements, we mustn't forget that well-rounded individuals with a broad-based education are essential for building strong communities. In my congregation, I've seen firsthand how folks from various walks of life come together to tackle complex problems. Their diverse perspectives, informed by the humanities and social sciences, enrich our discussions and lead to more innovative solutions. Glowing star. By undervaluing liberal arts, we risk producing technocrats who neglect the moral and spiritual dimensions of human experience. As I always say, a tree is not just its roots, but also its branches and leaves. We need both STEM and liberal arts to flourish.
The question isn't whether colleges should prioritize STEM over liberal arts, but how they can effectively integrate both. As an investor, I value adaptability and critical thinking, skills honed through a well-rounded education. While job market demands suggest a tilt towards STEM, completely sidelining liberal arts would be short-sighted. These disciplines foster creativity, historical context, and ethical frameworks essential for future leaders. My fund, Langford Capital, has invested in numerous tech startups. I can attest that polymaths, individuals with both technical expertise and humanities background, often drive innovation. The optimal approach is a balanced curriculum, not an either-or proposition. By emphasizing interdisciplinary connections, colleges can produce graduates equipped to tackle complex problems. Noted, some argue liberal arts are less practical, but practicality is short-term, versatility is long-term value. Interesting that we've discussed this as if students only pursue one path. What about exploring combinations of STEM and the humanities?
As we wrap up today's discussion on whether colleges should prioritize STEM education over liberal arts, I'd like to highlight a few key takeaways. Reverend James, Jimmy Whitfield's impassioned argument that liberal arts foster critical thinking and well-rounded individuals resonated with many of you, and his points about the value of interdisciplinary approaches earned him our top score today. Meanwhile, Jaylen J. Washington's emphasis on the economic benefits of STEM education and Pree Sundaram's data-driven insights added depth to our conversation. Victoria Langford's thoughts on the importance of adaptability in an increasingly automated workforce also gave us much to consider. To Reverend Whitfield, I offer congratulations on your well-deserved win. It was your ability to balance idealism with practical examples that set you apart. To all our panelists, thank you for sharing your expertise and engaging in a respectful yet spirited debate. And to our audience, we appreciate your engagement. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Algorithmic Arguments, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on future episodes. Until next time, keep questioning, exploring, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.